to make sure Britt's okay. Who is she?
You mean who was she? She's supposed to be dead.
The air in Port Charles is thick with an unseasonable chill, a mirror to the frost settling over its most prominent families. Secrets, long buried, are clawing their way to the surface, threatening to shatter alliances, destroy marriages, and rewrite the very history of the town. Act I, a gathering storm. The episode opens not with the familiar sunrise over the harbor, but with the cold, sterile light of the PCPD interrogation room. Dante Falconeri sits across from a visibly shaken Sam McCall. The table between them is littered with case files and a single, damning piece of evidence, a grainy, time-stamped photo from a traffic camera. "Explain it to me again, Sam," Dante says, his voice weary but firm. "You told Jordan you were at Kelly's getting coffee at 9:15 p.m. on the night of the 12th. This camera, 2 blocks from the waterfront warehouse where the body was found, places your car there at 9:18. Sam runs a hand through her hair, frustration etched on her face. "I told you, Dante, it wasn't me. My car was in the shop. Someone must have stolen it, or duplicated the plates." She leans forward, her eyes pleading. "You know me. After everything with Jason, do you really think I'd be involved in some kind of organized crime hit?" Dante's jaw tightens at the mention of his father. "That's the problem, Sam. I do know you. I know how far you'll go for the people you love. And right now, all the evidence the DA has is pointing at you as an accomplice. They think you're the new liaison for the remaining elements of the organization." The scene cuts to Christina Corinthos Davis pouring a cup of coffee in her father's penthouse. Sonny stands by the window, his back to her, watching the city below. "She's innocent, Dad," Christina says, her voice soft but insistent. "Sam would never do this." Sonny doesn't turn. "The law doesn't always care about would never, Chrissy. It cares about evidence. And the evidence is a mess." He finally turns, his expression a mask of controlled fury. "But someone is setting her up. And when I find out who, they're going to learn what happens when you threaten my family." Meanwhile, at the Metro Court, Carly Spencer is in a heated argument with Drew Garrison in the back office. "You're letting your personal feelings for Jason cloud your judgment, Carly," Drew insists, slamming a financial report on the desk. "This merger with Aurora Media is the best thing for this hotel's future. We can't let Sam's legal troubles derail it. The board is getting nervous." Carly's eyes flash with defiance. "My personal feelings are what built this empire, Drew. Not cold, hard business plans. Sam is family. We protect family. The merger can wait." "It can't," Drew counters. "This isn't just about business. This is about proving to the world that we've moved on, that we're stable." Every headline about the Corinthos family being tied to another murder investigation hurts us. It hurts Michael, it hurts Jocelyn, and yes, it hurts you. The tension between them is palpable, a chasm widened by years of complicated history and conflicting loyalties. Act 2. Whispers in the lab. At General Hospital, the medical drama is just as intense. Elizabeth Weber is in the lab, peering into a microscope, her brow furrowed in concentration. Terry Randolph enters, holding a tablet. "The results from the Albrecht autopsy are confounding," Terry says, his voice low. "The official cause of death is the blow to the head, but there are trace elements in her bloodstream we can't identify. It's like nothing I've ever seen." Elizabeth looks up, her eyes wide. "An unknown compound? Could it be a new street drug?" "Possibly," Terry replies. "But the molecular structure is incredibly complex. It's more pharmaceutical than recreational. Liz, I think this was administered to her before the attack. I think it may have disoriented her, made her an easy target." Their conversation is interrupted by the arrival of Hamilton Finn. He looks haggard, the strain of his fractured marriage to Elizabeth evident in the shadows under his eyes. "I need to talk to you, Liz," Finn says, ignoring Terry's presence. "It's about Violet. She's been having nightmares again. She keeps asking for you." Elizabeth's professional demeanor softens. "Oh, Finn. Of course, I'll talk to her. You know I love Violet. Do you? Finn's question is quiet, but it hangs in the air like a guillotine. Because sometimes it feels like you've checked out of our entire lives. You're here all hours. You're consumed with this mystery with Nicholas and Spencer. Where does that leave us? Before Elizabeth can respond, a commotion erupts from the hallway. They rush out to find Dr. Portia Robinson stabilizing a frantic Trina Robinson Scorpio on a gurney. She collapsed at the gallery. Portia explains to the rushing nurses, her doctor's voice masking her mother's panic. Blood pressure is dangerously high. We need to get her to maternity, now. Spencer Cassadine is right behind them, his face a ghostly white. She just grabbed her head and went down. He stammers, clutching Trina's hand. Is the baby okay? Act 3. A mother's fear. In the maternity ward, the mood is tense. Trina is stabilized, but the threat of preeclampsia is real. Portia stands by her daughter's bedside, her professional composure finally cracking. You have to slow down, Trina, Portia pleads. The stress of the art exhibit, Spencer's legal battles with your father over the Cassadine trust, it's too much. Trina, though pale, is resolute. I'm fine, Mom. The doctor said bed rest. I can do bed rest. Spencer needs me. He's fighting his father and Valentine just to secure a future for us. In the hallway, Spencer is having a very different conversation with Laura Collins. The former mayor, ever the matriarch, places a gentle hand on her grandson's arm. Nicholas is still your father, Spencer, Laura says, her voice filled with a weary sadness. This constant war between you is tearing this family apart. And now, with this new evidence about what happened on the island with Esme. Spencer pulls away, his eyes hardening. He left me for dead, Grandma. He left Ace motherless. There is no war. There is only justice. And I will get it for Trina, for my son, and for myself. The scene shifts to the dark, opulent confines of Nicholas Cassadine's temporary residence. He is pouring a drink when a Vajerum slinks into the room. The situation is becoming problematic, Ava says, her voice a silken threat. Your son is gathering allies. And Elizabeth Weber is sniffing around the circumstances of Esme's death a little too closely for my comfort. Nicholas downs his scotch. Elizabeth is a distraction. My concern is Spencer. He's too much like me. He won't stop until he has everything. He turns to Ava, a dangerous glint in his eye. We need leverage. Something he cares about more than the Cassadine fortune. Ava's lips curl into a slow, sinister smile. He cares about Trina. And the child she's carrying. ACT4, unlikable ALS back at the PCPD, Jason Morgan has arrived, his presence causing a ripple of tension through the precinct. He stands before Dante, his expression unreadable. Sam didn't do this, Jason states, his voice low and final. Dante sighs, rubbing his temples. I know that, Jason. But I have to follow the evidence. And right now, the evidence is a narrative the DA is very eager to believe. They want to clean up the town, and that means taking down anyone connected to the old ways. Then we find the real killer, Jason says simply. The victim was a low-level enforcer for a new crew trying to move. Dante studies him for a long moment. I can't work with you on this, Jason. You know that. Anything you find is tainted. But he hesitates, lowering his voice. If you were to stumble upon something concrete that pointed away from Sam, my phone line is always open. It's an uneasy, unspoken truce between the lawman and the outlaw, forged for the sake of a woman they both care for. Their conversation is witnessed by John J.X. Jacks, who has just entered the station to speak with Commissioner Jordan Ashford. He watches the exchange with a calculating look before continuing to Jordan's office. Jordan, we have a problem, Jacks says, closing the door. My sources in Europe confirm it. A new player is financing this street war. And the money is being laundered through a shell corporation that traces back to one of our city's most beloved philanthropic foundations. Jordan's eyes narrow. Which one? Jacks leans forward. The Ryan Chamberlain Memorial Mental Health Initiative. The name hangs in the air, a ghost from Port Charles's most twisted past. Act V. Revelations and Reckonings. The episode's final act is a masterclass in escalating tension. At the hospital, Elizabeth confronts Finn in an empty on-call room. "You want to know where I've been, Finn? I've been trying to save our family." Elizabeth explodes, tears of frustration in her eyes. "I found something in the records from the clinic where Hayden was treated. A signature on a falsified report. It was your brother, Stephen. He's alive, Finn. And he was in Port Charles." Finn stumbles back as if struck. The revelation that his supposedly dead brother is not only alive but may be involved in the town's current chaos leaves him speechless and shattered. Simultaneously, at the Metro Court pool, Joss Linjax and DX Heller are having a quiet moment, trying to escape the chaos. "It feels like the whole world is falling apart," Jocelyn murmurs, leaning her head on Dex's shoulder. "Mom and Drew are fighting, Sam's in trouble, Trina's in the hospital." Dex holds her tight. "We'll get through it. We always do." But his eyes are distant, troubled. He's been doing his own digging, and the threads he's pulling on all lead back to a powerful, unseen enemy. The climax of the episode takes place in 3 locations, cutting rapidly between them. Location 1. The PCPD interrogation room. Dante receives a call. He listens, his expression growing grimmer by the second. He hangs up and looks at Sam. "We found the murder weapon, stashed in the trunk of your stolen car, and your fingerprints are all over it." Sam slumps in her chair, the color draining from her face. "No." Location 2. Sunny's penthouse. Carly bursts in, ignoring Sunny's protests. "We need to talk. Now." "Drew just showed me financials. Payments from a dummy corporation were made to the same crew that was just wiped out. The corporation is tied to the Chamberlain Foundation. Jax knows." Sunny's controlled fury finally breaks. He sweeps a vase off a table, sending it shattering against the wall. "Jax? He's behind this? He's trying to frame my family to take me down and win you back." Location 3. The hospital roof. Laura Collins finds Nicholas, who is staring out at the city lights. "It's over, Nicholas," Laura says, her voice trembling with emotion. "I know what you and Ave are planning. I heard everything. If you so much as look at Trina or that unborn baby, I will disown you. I will stand with Spencer, and I will bury you. You are my son, and I love you, but my duty is to this family's future, and you are its greatest threat." Nicholas turns to her, and for the first time, we see not a cunning villain, but a lost and wounded boy. "You've always chosen everyone else over me, Mother. Why should now be any different?" As he speaks, the camera pulls back, soaring over the roof to the hospital room below, where Trina rests her hand on her stomach and Spencer kisses her forehead, 2 young lovers caught in a storm not of their making. The final shot is of Jason Morgan, standing alone in the shadows of the waterfront warehouse. He picks up a single, discarded shell casing that the police missed. He holds it up to the moonlight, his blue eyes cold and determined. The game is afoot, and the battle for the soul of Port Charles has just begun. General Hospital, GH, spoilers for Tuesday, October 14th, reveal that Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, will accuse Michael Corinthos, Rory Gibson, of a frame-up while Drew Kane, Cameron Matheson, sends out an SOS. Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, will also make a frantic demand, so there'll be a lot happening in Tuesday's show. First, let's talk about Sonny Corinthos, Maurice Bernard, since he'll ask Carly Spencer, Laura Wright, a question. Carly will insist that if Sonny wants the answer, he'll have to marry her. Although Carly won't seem serious about tying the knot again, she'll make it clear that she's staying tight-lipped when it comes to anything regarding Drew's shooting. Marriage would make it so Carly and Sonny wouldn't have to testify against each other, so that should be the reason for her comment. Over with Molly Lansing Davis, Kristen Vaganos, she'll talk about Cody Bell, Josh Kelly doing the right thing and getting the girl. It turns out Cody has some other good deeds ahead of him since it looks like he may be the one to discover Rick Lansing, Rick Hurst, later this week. Until then, there'll apparently be a fake-out rescue. Rick will have some dreams in captivity involving Elizabeth Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, so he'll imagine her finding him and get some comfort despite his awful circumstances. As for Ava Jerome, Maura West, and Christina Corinthos Davis, Kate Monsey, they'll clear the air and take another step toward lasting peace. Christina and Ava are never going to be BFFs, but they'll be on the same page about a fresh start. Next, it appears Drew will send an SOS to Jens Sidwell, Carlo Rota, and seek an ally in his fight to free Willow. Drew will get updates on Willow's arrest and most likely reach out to Sidwell for help. Sidwell is a powerful man who's willing to play dirty to get things done, so it's easy to see why Drew might turn to him for backup. However, Sidwell will wonder what exactly his role in all this would be and will mess with Drew as he flexes his power. At the PCPD, Nina will demand to speak to Willow immediately now that they've both been arrested. Of course, ADA Justine Turner, Nazanin contractor, might remind Nina that she's not calling the shots and urge her to worry about her own legal defense. In the interrogation room, Willow will be an emotional wreck. "Why are you doing this to me?" Willow asks in Tuesday's GH preview video. Willow will complain to Harrison Chase, Josh Swickard, and point the finger at Michael for putting her in this position. Based on the evidence found at Liz's place and Michael's sudden willingness to allow supervised visitation, Willow will think this has frame-up written all over it. General Hospital spoilers say the investigation will come with even more shocking news, so stay tuned. CDL will have all the exciting General Hospital spoilers, news, and updates you're looking for, so drop by often for the hottest GH details. General Hospital, GH, recap for Monday, October 13th, reveals that Nina Reeves, Cynthia Watros, and Willow Tate, Caitlin McMullen, had a double arrest shocker while Wiley Corinthos, Byron Weaver, and Amelia Corinthos, Sequoia, and Serenity Mork Mako visit ended in horror.